All right, well, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today we've got a neighbor's having a pool party tomorrow, and they were asking folks to bring a side dish. So I'm gonna bring my most kind of favorite side dish here, pasta salad. And I went through a million different recipes on pasta salad. This is the one that I settled on, and this wasn't even on a recipe. This was just what I tweaked, what I realized I liked. It's easy, it's not expensive, and every party that you take it to, everyone you serve it to, they're gonna love it. I've never had a single person not like this. So stick around and we're gonna get after it. All right, so first and foremost, what we need is a bowl. I use an oversized bowl. It gives you room to stir all the ingredients and everything together without things falling out and whatever. So get yourself an oversized bowl. Once you've gone through and you've actually mixed everything together, you could transfer it to a smaller bowl if you needed to, or to a Tupperware or whatever you're gonna take. I've got 2 boxes of these rainbow twirls here. These are 12-ounce boxes of, you don't have to use rainbow, you can just use regular colored ones or whatever works for you, but 2 12-ounce boxes of those. I've got, you could use Parmesan. I'm using this 5 Italian cheese blend here, and I find that this one is actually pretty good. I've got Genoa salami, and I've got some pepperoni. I've got 2 bell peppers. If you had a giant bell pepper, you could just use a giant one, but these ones are kind of tiny, so I have 2 of them. I've got 2 cans of sliced ripe olives. So these are 2 1/4 ounces. And then, last but not least, Italian dressing. Now, if you don't like some of the ingredients on this or something, always feel free to use like an Italian seasoning blend and then olive oil, and that works just as well. I use this just because it's simple. That's our ingredients, and I'm not gonna make you watch me as I cut all this stuff up and boil noodles and all that jazz. When we start putting things together, I'll get back to you. Couple things to note. So this is a 12-ounce bag of this Genoa salami. Same over here goes for the pepperoni. And there's no exact, if you like it super meaty, that's great. I use half the bag basically, so 6 ounces. If you want to get better quality stuff, you want to get the actual sausage and dice it up, that's great. I just grab these because they're right there and they're easy enough to find at the store. And they're really easy enough to prep too, so you just take a couple of them and just cut across on them. And then you're done. Toss it in your bowl over there. So I'll do the same thing with the pepperoni. I'll use half this bag, and it'll be great. While you're slicing and dicing and doing all that jazz, get your water heated up, and get those noodles boiled up. They ain't gonna hurt you if they're cold, because we're gonna throw this thing in the refrigerator anyway. So cook your noodles first if you want, and then put them in a bowl, put a little olive oil on them so they don't stick together, and then cut up all your stuff and get ready to get after it. So see you in a minute. All right. So just cook your noodles to the package instructions. It says on this package here, it says 10 to 12 minutes or to desired tenderness. I've found the middle to be the sweet spot. So these little swirl noodles, 11 minutes is usually gonna do it. You don't want them to be overly done because we're dumping an entire bottle of Italian dressing in there. So that means there's gonna be a lot for them to soak up again. So don't overdo them. You want them to be that slight al dente, where you bite into them, they're soft, but there's just a little something in there that you can feel is a little firmness. So do that. But we've got everything else all sliced and diced and ready to go. I'm gonna save cheese, Italian dressing. I'm gonna save that stuff for last. And you don't even have to worry about mixing this up, because we're gonna dump those noodles in here and it's all gonna get mixed up again. And then we're gonna add our our Italian cheese blend, and then the Italian dressing at the very end. We'll give it a good another mix, and we'll dump it in there. One thing I did forget to mention about the olives: make sure you drain them. You don't want that olive juice in the can or in the bottle in there. So get rid of that. If you're taking whole olives and chopping them, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not putting any juice or anything in there with them. So, but we're good to go. We're just waiting for noodles at this point. All right, so I just strained these noodles. So what we're going to be doing here now is I'm going to put them on in there. It's a little hot. We'll go ahead and use our little dealio here. Moving on over here to the cool side. Oh, getting a little fog there. I'm just going to add just a real quick little, maybe a couple tablespoons of olive oil here. And this will help it keep from sticking. And you can do this even when you're cooking spaghetti noodles or something. If you're having, spaghetti night, if just add a little bit of olive oil. That'll keep it from keep these things from turning into giant clumps. So I tried a noodle, and that's what I would recommend doing. Before you turn off the heat, your timer goes off. I cook these for 11 minutes. Boil your water, toss the noodles in. Again, follow package instructions. But always take a noodle out. Try it. Obviously, you should try. I already tried one, but you should obviously always try it before you dump olive oil and strain it and do all that jazz, obviously. But that's good. That's perfect. You want them a little bit al dente because, like I said, we're dumping that whole thing of Italian seasoning or Italian dressing all over it. And I'm going to let it sit overnight as well. And it's going to soak up, those noodles are going to soak up a lot of them. So if you did those noodles well done and then you dumped all that dressing on there and everything else, they're going to be mush the next day. So we don't want that. We want some crisp stuff. I'm not going to dump those hot noodles in here. I'm not going to dump the hot noodles in here either because I don't want them, cooking my peppers or anything else. I want a bunch of crunchy bell peppers, crunchy little olive bits, and then slightly al dente noodles. So we're just going to hang out, and I'm going to let these noodles cool for a bit. Every once in a while, feel free to come in the room, give it a stir, get some of that heat out of there. And yeah, and leave yourself a couple hours to do this. You could also, if you wanted to, you could run these under cold water to cool them down faster. I'm not going to do that because I have time, but if you were in a pinch, absolutely. Dump them in your strainer and then just, run cold water over them if you want it. Pretend that there's noodles in there. Just run, cold water over them. I could also, if I wanted to, I could take this thing and I could stick it in the fridge. Again, just make sure you come out every once in a while and give it a stir. Make sure none of these guys are... man down. Make sure you give it a stir and just keep them from sticking, keep that heat from off, keep that olive oil coating all those noodles. Yeah, and this is going to be fantastic. So I will say I recommend letting it, once you put all your ingredients together, let it sit overnight. I definitely recommend that. If you're in a rush, I've definitely done it myself. Just throw it together, whip it up, out the door, and nobody ever complained that I did that. Nobody knew really the difference, but for me personally, I knew, and I know that it all blends in together a lot well. All the little flavors, they meld together a little bit better instead of being like these very sharp, distinct little flavors of sweet bell pepper, olive, all that. They all kind of blend in together better if you let it sit overnight. Let them all mellow out. Let them all chill. Let them all become friends. So, but I'm going to let those noodles cool down, and I'll see you in a bit. All right. Well, what we got going on? All right, so we got our noodles obviously here. They're cooled off pretty well. And then we've got our other stuff here, our other concoction. It's got our olives, our peppers. It's got all of our meat in there. Everything else. I'm gonna give that a stir really quick. All right. Give it a real quick little stir here. Looking good. And then I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add, I don't know, maybe half these noodles real quick. All right. Mix that around real good. All right, easy peasy. Other half of the noodles. Get rid of this guy. All right, give it a mix. All right. I mean, even without all the seasonings, that has a good aroma to it. Now, if you want to do some kind of meat lovers thing where you use that entire bag of Genoa salami or the entire bag of pepperoni, or maybe you don't like pepperoni, you can leave it out. You can absolutely leave it out. I usually just kind of do things in moderation, and I use both. So, but I'm going to estimate that we're going to use about a cup of this, about a cup of Parmesan. That looks to be about a cup. And then, like I said it before, we're going to give it a good shake first, of course. We're going to use all of this. Now, obviously, if you're going to do like a half recipe or something, you know, you're going to want to use less. But even if it looks a little soup, you know, like I'd say add like 3, if you're not sure, like add 3/4 of this bottle. All right, I've made this a zillion times, so I kind of understand how this is all going to play out. But if you're not sure, add 3/4, mix it in real good. Look at that. Ain't no sloppiness, ain't no nothing. And these noodles are gonna soak up all this flavor, all that dressing, they're gonna soak it all up. Oh yeah, man. You know what? I'm probably gonna add more of this cheese blend here, actually. I'm gonna add it, I don't know, about maybe another 1/4 cup there. Give it another good mix. I'm gonna mix that around real good. Oh, man down. All right. Oh yeah, man. That is gonna be absolute money. I'm gonna let it chill overnight, and I'll just toss it in the fridge and let it. I'll put some, well, whatever. I'll just toss it in the fridge, let it cool down, and all those flavors and everything else, they're all gonna blend together a lot better. You don't have to do that. I've absolutely made this on the fly. I was supposed to go to a thing. This is several years ago. It was in a family event, and they were like, they sent me a text and I didn't see it, and then at the last second I did see it, because I was like, hey, you want me to bring anything? And they're like, yeah, bring that pasta salad you want, because everybody always wants me to bring this pasta salad. And I was like, oh dang it. So I ran to the store, got my stuff, threw it together, out the door. I mean, it was maybe an hour. They all still crushed it. So this is a fantastic pasta salad. And we'll give it a try here in a little bit. I'm going to let it chill for just a minute. All right, so there we have it. Give it a run. Oh yeah, that's good. Like I mentioned earlier, this is actually kind of a meal in all of itself. We're using it as a side dish tomorrow, but it's got everything you need for a meal. It's got meat, it's got veggies, it's got carbs, it's even got dairy with the cheese. It really has everything. Few key ingredients, makes a ton. You can have the recipe or whatever you want to do, but it keeps super well. It keeps for a long time. And you don't have to heat it up. Take it to work, to school, whatever. Toss in your bag. The meat is already cured meat that doesn't need to really be refrigerated. There's really no downside to this at all. And it'll last you forever if you're just making. I just make this stuff because my wife will take it to work and eat it for lunch, and I'll take it to work and eat it for lunch. You just throw it in a Tupperware and toss it in a fridge, and you're good to go. This pasta salad though, fantastic.